okay, in my previous example, you are, if someone else presents an idea and you attack that idea, they get defensive. And now your attacks, whatever facts you use to prove them wrong, now they're emotional, they're angry. They will not receive or even consider your facts. They're not using logic or their neocortex. So you gotta reduce the emotion in order for that to work.
Well, and to that point, the neocortex is the weakest function of your brain. In part because it's also the most complex. Thinking is hard. Thinking logically is even harder. It's very easy to just react to stimuli. It's built into your nervous system. You know, we have terms like muscle memory. Why? Because eventually your muscles get so used to doing something that they just get good at it, that they just react that way. Your nervous system has a built-in reaction function to hot objects. Drop it, right? We don't have to go all the way to your neocortex to say, it's hot, I need to drop it.
It takes time to think.
Yes.
More time than you have. And we all have that experience. You know, some event happened, something happened, interaction. And about 6 hours later, you go, oh, I should have said that.
Yep.
Okay,
I know what you mean.
That's the thinking. And the thinking, you can't think fast enough in the moment. Now, yes, you can develop those skills through training and discipline to discipline your mind to go to that logic, to think that way. But that's training. Doesn't always happen that way.
Are laws of logic universal?
I would say no.
I would say yes.
Yes, they have to be.
Well, okay. I was thinking about something else. Okay, you're going to different. Yes. Okay.
Are they material or immaterial?
Immaterial.
Immaterial. I would say.
But we're talking about the brain.
Logic exists even without the brain.
Right. Yes.
Oh. So the pure naturalist can explain immaterial, universal, objective laws of logic.
They do try, though. Okay. It's fun. It's fun to watch them. It's fun to watch. I'm
referring back to one of my favorite guys I used to listen to years ago. So Greg Bonson. Yeah. Okay. He used that argument a lot. So.
Yeah. So with my thing on logic, I thought we were going down in the direction of emotionalism, but I get yes. The actual rules and laws of logic are, for lack of, I like the term immutable. They cannot be changed.
Yes. And it's interesting that our brains are designed to use those laws of logic.
Huh. So you mean both the immaterial and the material both function under the
yes.
Oh, yes. Wow. Oh, what did we just do?
Interesting, isn't that?
What did we just do there?
I got another thing to relate. Playing chess with a pigeon represents the metaphorical scenario. Where I said it. I have to go back. I clicked on the page. I'll have to go. That illustrates the okay. I'll start over. Playing chess with a pigeon is a metaphorical scenario that illustrates the futility of engaging in a rational debate with someone who does not adhere to the rules of logic or reason.
Yes.
Okay. The phrase is playing chess with a pigeon. What is it? You always lose because the pigeon just struts around the board and shits wherever he wants.
Yes.
Basically, not using any logic. Okay, that represents Okay, trying to discuss something with a person with no logic or reason. Basically, their perspective is a snowflake perspective that you can't know and they won't let you know. It's based on feelings, not facts or observation. And it could be just a narrative, it could be a fiction.
And likely is. Because if the
what's gaslighting?
That's a fiction that is
Gaslighting.
specific.
That's apple? No, that's not an apple. That's an orange.
Right. It's creating a fiction with the purpose of, in this particular, with the purpose of manipulating a person into believing that the observational truth is not actually true. That's what gaslighting is.
Right. But does that change the truth? No, it doesn't. It can make
the truth is immutable
of what you're observing, question your perspective, but it doesn't actually change what's true.
Right. The truth is immutable. The rules of logic are immutable, and you can use the rules of logic to override your emotions, and you should. But that's hard. It's the hardest thing that humans do. It requires the most energy in your brain to do. And, Steve, you were talking about 6 hours later coming up with the response to the thing that was said in conversation.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. I have done that more times in life than I care to admit. But here's the thing. That skill does not start until you hit an IQ of 120. People below an IQ of 120 don't do that.
Okay.
So,
I didn't know.
There's been some wild research done in this about inner monologues and stuff. Anyway, I don't want to derail us too far. But kind of the point of this so far is to say that every choice you make has an impact on yourself, on somebody else, and in the future. And we use these heuristic frameworks or morality frameworks to determine the potential effect of the choice that we're making. So, okay.
Yeah, can I say it a little differently? I mean, we're getting kind of in deep and we're tangling with topics here. Not everybody has a capability of tracking.
I'm going to pull us out in a second.
Or desire. And let's just go with desire. Okay, great. That's fine. This is why we have shortcuts.
Yes.
They're called stereotypes, generalizations.
Yes.
So you don't have to track all this. It's nice to know that it exists. And somebody out there is talking about it. But this conversation today at a deeper level just proves the validity of generalizations and stereotypes. It allows you to make those accurate judgments that are generally moral because it goes on heuristics, and therefore you don't have to do all the thinking in the moment because that's a lot of work. I just use a shortcut and use a stereotype or generalization. And then all I got to do is test this generalization or stereotype apply in this situation? Maybe not. Maybe it does. How about if I go with it and then I just kind of observe to see if I have to modify it? But I already have the answer without spending a lot of time thinking.
I'm going to pull up a comment here because it's a good, this one. So
I was thinking the same thing. Okay.
Okay. You know where I'm going with this, but this is my wife. So I can speak to this one and she'll listen. The answer is no. Those who can think rationally rely on generalizations even more.
Yes.
So the only way to think clearly, believe it or not, and to think at speed is to use heuristics and generalizations. In fact, that is the one thing that the intelligent have over the normies out there, is they can more accurately and quickly apply a generalization to a situation to achieve a result.
So like when I'm interpreting somebody's thoughts, so I'm engaging somebody's thought, have all these generalizations where I categorize and dissect the thought that's being promoted.
Yes. And part of the reason that we're spending so much time on this is because next week we're going to say, okay, we have laid out the logical framework and explained ourselves so that when we start using the generalizations that we're going to be using next week, that you guys and we can point back to this week and say, no, we actually did explain ourselves and why we're saying the things we're saying in detail. If you care, go watch this episode. If you don't care, okay, cool.